All right, let's start with the disclaimer. Hello everyone. Let's continue. We were talking about the design a small application with pluggable modules to collect data. And in the previous video, we were talking about draw.io. And in this video, we will talk about PlantUML and how to set it up, how to use it on the example with Visual Studio Code. And we will also work with component and sequence diagrams together with PlantUML. Let's get started. So let's jump into the PlantUML. So we go to the PlantUML. And so it is the official page of the PlantUML. I would recommend to you, just for your comfort, go to the PlantUML language reference guide and open it in the new tab. And in this PDF file, it's quite big one. It's 500 pages, but I would recommend just to go to the bookmarks. And then you will see here sequence diagram, class diagram, object diagrams, blah, 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 blah. You will find here different versions of the diagrams, which is supported by PlantUML, and also some nice things related to the graphics or some design stuff. In the sequence diagram, for example, you will find here an example how to write it and also how it will be displayed, and some more examples. We will use it in a few minutes probably once we set it up with Visual Studio Code. There are a few options how to run the PlantUML. One of the options is to use online server. So basically you just set up the PlantUML extension and use it online. In most of the cases that's fine, but there is some chance that you will work on the company which will sign an NDA or non-disclosure agreement, which means that most of the code that you are writing is private or closed. And most of the companies don't like to transfer some secret or private or confidential data to the online servers. In that case, much easier to download PlantUML on your machine and set it up. And once it is set up, then run PlantUML locally. Then it will not expose your confidential data on the internet, so a bit safer. Not for 100%, but much safer. So let's try to set up the PlantUML. I would recommend to you to go to the Visual Studio Code. In the Visual Studio Code, you will find here Extensions tab, right here, PlantUML. There is one extension which is used, as you can see here, downloaded more than 1.5 million times. We install it. So we have installed the extension PlantUML, and if we scroll down, we will see here that plugin has integrated copy of PlantUML jar and graph.vs. So let's try to write the simplest diagram and see will it work or not. If it is needed, then we will install it separately. So we close this page with extension. So let's copy this example. We don't care about the content right now. We just copy it here. And then we press Ctrl-Shift-P and write here plant. And you can see PlantUML export or preview current diagram. So we press preview current diagram and you can see here nothing. Why? Probably because let's see, problems, output, debug console. Looks like it doesn't work. Trust. Okay, close. Let's try again. Preview. Okay, no while diagram here. Nice. Why? It looks like it doesn't work because I tried here the several options and it doesn't work for me. All right, so all left. Okay, I have some problems with PlantUML, for example, in the Visual Studio Code when I'm trying to render or see the preview for PlantUML, I see this one. So let me restart the Visual Studio Code. All right, let's try to preview. Aha, now we have it. If you had some issues with PlantUML and you had on your page the same gray side as I had, then go to your web browser and use your search engine and just type download Java, and you can use either Java or Oracle. Both of them are safe because Oracle takes a big part of the developing Java language, so you will need to download Java runtime environment. And you can use both of them because this page has, as far as I know, Java version 8, and Oracle has newer versions. It is development kit, but both of them will include Java runtime environment. Just download it, install it. If you are using Ubuntu or Linux or macOS, please refer to your operating system. The test that it works, that you can restart, for example, Visual Studio Code, and then run this simple diagram here. Let's write here, for example, class example. And then if you press PlantUML preview current diagram, you will see that we have here example. That means that PlantUML is working. That was a painful part with setting up PlantUML diagram. And now we should play a little bit with it. We go to PlantUML language reference, and we have here class diagram and object diagram. Let's look at the class diagram, and it is looking quite similar that we have in Draw.io. As you can see here, we have main application interface. Here we have abstract, annotation, entity, class, enumeration. Looks quite similar. Another option for us is object diagram. An object diagram has also something similar. What we can try to do, we can try to mix both of them. We will see what will happen. So let's start with class diagram. And as you can see, this is a code written in PlantUML, and it is what was generated based on this input. In our case, we are interested in interface, which will be looked like this interface. And let's see what we want to have. There is a way how to write the relations between classes, and if we want to have more fields inside, what we can do, let's check. We can use these options, which looks quite nice. Oh, this one looks even better. So let's go with this option. We jump to our Draw.io diagram for a second just to see what do we have here. I will try to do it in the background just to show you the end result. Okay, so I have made something similar that we have on Draw.io. So we have main application interface version 1 and library. And we have it on UML written. As you can see, the look or how it displayed is not exactly that we would like to have, but we will try to fix it. But talking about the text, so just typing this text, we get this generated. And to be honest, sometimes when you open at a reference or a user guide and just writing these commands, it is saving so much time for you as a developer to write these kind of diagrams instead of the drawing all these boxes and getting some glitches and etc. So it's kind of, can I say, debating. So let's try to make it more or less nice looking as we have on the draw.io. And what we can do is to use relation operators which are displaying the relations between these components. I apologize, I made a mistake here. Yeah, if you make a mistake while you are referring some libraries or variables that you define it, then you can see that PlantUML might create for you an additional instance in the preview. So in my case, instead of the using library, which is use it on the right side, it just created a class iLibrary and put it here. Now you can see that our generated PlantUML diagram with this information contains almost the same view or has the same view except the style as we have on the draw.io. So let's focus on the sequence diagram. To make the sequence diagram, one of the features from the on the PlantUML is that you can create a UML diagram file and then define multiple UML diagrams inside. And we can start here another UML diagram and we will call it sequence diagram. When we create a sequence diagram on the draw.io, we have an actor, so we can define it as is here as an actor and we will define it as user. So it is our kind of variable name or a reference to this entity. But now we want to define two objects that we would like to have here in the sequence diagram. It is main application and library. Let's jump to PlantUML reference diagram first. And what we can see in the sequence diagram that we might declare different participants, actor, boundary, control, entity, database, and etc. And here is the result of the rendering. So we would like to have participant because participant will have quite similar view that we have here in the draw.io. So we will use the participant. And now it will take some time for me to replicate our draw.io sequence diagram. So I will try to do it on the background and will show you the end result. Now let's see how does it look. So it is the preview generated from the PlantUML sequence diagram described here. I will go through it quite soon. But we have actor, main application, library module. So it calls iFace version, then we call type of value, then we do inside a loop. We do call correspond function depending on enum, return, print value, then ask user to continue, sleep 1 second, and Let's compare it with draw.io. So we have actor, main application, module 1. Well, the name is different, I apologize for that. But call iFace version, return, calls, return, and then inside the loop we have call a correspond function, print value, sleep 1 second. As you can see, with small difference in the design, probably with spending some time on it, it is probably possible to change the design here to look similar to the draw.io. But look, just having this typing in the text editor, we have generated this diagram. Maybe not that fancy looking, but it will be stored as a text document, and it is possible to modify it with almost any text editor and then run through PlantUML server renderer and get it rendered. I think that's just amazing. Some practical hints which I was using I have found in PlantUML while I was using it. I used to have, for example, title or caption written in quotes, because it will have some spaces if needed, or maybe some more text written there. And also together with as, I am adding here a reference or a variable, probably a reference which is referring to this entity. And also, if we are talking about, let's say, some class diagrams or maybe table diagrams with relations, then it is nice to have here a name, or can I say self-documented name. For example, in our case, it is object main application or object library. If we would have 3 or 5 different libraries, let's say library which will be statically linked, dynamically linked, or runtime linked, then I would probably change the names to static library, dynamic library, or runtime library, and etc. So it will be a bit easier to read this diagram and modify it. As well as if you want to add some comments, you can add here a quote probably, and then write here comment. So you can not only leave a comment on the YouTube under this video, but also write in the PlantUML. I was using different type of the arrows. So if you type dash and greater than sign, then you will get just an arrow with line. If you have 2 dashes, then you will get dotted line. Of course, you can go through the reference guide and then read it. If you use quotes here, it will be probably displayed on the diagram as well. One important moment. As you can see here on the group, on the line 45, I was using a loop -n. So if I just print here enter, it will probably give me an error, but I was just using /n. To be honest, I haven't found a way how to split it into several lines. So if you find it, please let me know, I will be grateful. Otherwise, it looks a bit ugly, especially here or here. But yeah, that works fine if you just press /n, or probably use here /n, and then it will be splitted in the diagram. If you want to use /n as symbols, probably you can escape it, probably, and then it will be printed. So the standard way how to escape slash is working here as well. Please try to play around with it if you are planning to use PlantUML. But again, that's really nice to save it as a text file, then open it somewhere and modify it a little bit. When you use PlantUML to render all these diagrams, then you will get nicely PNG files. That's all related to the PlantUML. As you can see here, once you switch to another UML diagram, you will get it rendered. In this video, we created PlantUML diagrams. It does what it does, right? It makes the job done. What is more needed? Everything else is a luxury for us. The next video will be probably related to the Jira, and we will go through Jira, we will talk about story, we will talk about backlog and etc., planning the work. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.